applied for the Air Force because I always wanted to join the Air Force as a pilot, of course, with the ultimate aim of becoming a test pilot. But that never eventuated. I went for my interviews and medicals and was passed, and left CAC on the Friday after getting my call up, and into the Air Force down to Point Cook on the next Monday. So I had a weekend at home to pack. So 18-month course on the second post-war course for the Air Force, flying Tiger Moths, Wuruways and Oxfords, which are twin-engine things. I was posted, luckily, to 3 Squadron at Canberra, and guess what they had? Mustangs. So apart from knowing Mustangs fairly well for working on them for over 3 years, I finally got to fly one. And I can recall sitting on the end of runway 12 at Canberra for my first flight, and just sitting there looking at and imagining those 12 pistons going up and down before I opened the throttle. It was just, I suppose, heaven. Within a couple of months, some of us from 3 Squadron were posted up to Williamtown to do fighter tactical work, which we hadn't done. We were doing mainly Army cooperation work, still on Mustangs. So we spent a couple of months there doing air-to-air work on Lincolns and so forth, and versus the Mustangs, and finally got the posting up to Korea. I arrived up there at Iwakuni on the 15th of December, I think it was, and did my first mission on the 22nd of December. Well, the first mission was only a indoctrination with somebody else just to show me the area up towards the bomb line so that I recognised that mountain, that's the one near our base. So you find your way home, that sort of thing. But on that day, one of my course mates from Point Cook was killed. So, not a good indoctrination, but didn't matter really, because we were there to fly, and I remember one of my mates going up in that first batch from Williamtown, telling him to keep it going till I got there, because I knew I'd be there in December. But that was our attitude at that stage. We flew quite long missions sometimes, up to 5.25 hours, some of the missions, right up in the top end of North Korea. Mostly they were around 3.5, but we flew occasionally those very long ones. We were given at one stage, towards the latter end, a route to follow, the north-south roads running up into Korea. Route A, Route B, Route C sort of thing. 2 aircraft would be given Route C for the day, or for the morning, loaded with bombs and rockets, or napalm. You'd go up that road looking for any signs of tanks, for instance, hiding in villages. If they were coming down during the night and daylight broke, they'd just drive into the nearest village and drive through a wall into someone's hut. I don't know whether they told them to get out first. So if you saw signs of tank tracks going into a village, you knew there might be something there, so you'd look for it. Trains I wasn't very lucky with, except once we closed up a tunnel, we thought there was a train inside it, closed up both ends with bombs and napalm. But all the trains, I think, in their daytime running had been dispensed with in the early days before I got there, which is a pity. Got a few trucks and things, even troops on the ground moving across the field. You wouldn't have any qualms about them because they're coming down to kill our guys, so we killed them before they killed our blokes. 7th of April 1951, we took all our Mustangs back to Iwakuni. Then we started the conversion onto the Meteors, which had arrived by sea. At that stage, trials had been done with the Meteor versus Sabre at Iwakuni, and the Meteor was shown to have much better climb rate off the ground than the Sabre, could outmanoeuvre it at the lower levels. I don't know the results of anything at high levels, but then for that reason, when we went back to Korea, we flew on top of the Sabres in the initial stages. We were doing missions up to the Yarley River. Across the river you could see two aerodromes where there were Meg-15s, Ceres and Antung. And that was in Manchuria. And of course MacArthur had already tried to get approval to bomb across there, and Truman had said, no, don't you dare cross into Manchuria, because he could foresee a world war. So anyway, we could see Meggs taking off actually and climbing up. They could climb on their side, protected, up above us, and then just dive down on us. And that's what they did. They just dived through us. They didn't stop and dogfight. They'd shoot on the way down and keep on diving, and we couldn't catch them. They had a Mach number of Mach 1 plus. We were limited to about Mach 8.86. And then the aircraft was starting to get out of control at that stage, so we couldn't chase them. But later on, as they progressed, they were obviously training people, North Koreans. They'd detach two aircraft to come down, doing the same thing, firing and keeping on going. Then it got to 4, and occasionally then you'd get some would stop and mix it. They'd dogfight. By that time, of course, the Sabres had been put up on top because they had the higher Mach number. They were also not Mach limited like we were. And they were shooting down Meggs, but they'd still mix it with us as they came down, and we were able to turn with them if they'd stop and turn. So we got 5 eventually, not in my time. There were a couple got in my time, but not by me. I chased one once, which was lost actually. If I'd been a bit quicker on the uptake, I might have got a Meg. He was down below heading north when I was a spare aircraft. We always had 2 spares for every mission. The job of the spare was to take the place of anybody whose guns or radio were US up north or on the way. We always fire the guns to check them out. And if the guns didn't work, the spare would be called in, the other bloke would go home. So I was orbiting up there, I think I was doing aerobatics or something. I looked down and saw a swept-wing aircraft way below heading north. And I thought, oh, this is the spare Sabre. So I thought about it. And up north, somebody had said previously, oh, there's a Meg heading south. There was a fellow called Cedric Thomas. He was leading the particular mission. He said, there's one heading south. And that was a few minutes before, and I'd not thought about it. Then I suddenly thought, there's a Meg heading south. So I dived down towards him, but of course his speed was such that he was getting further and further away. So I missed him. If I'd been quicker,